Good evening from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's Ryan.
And Brie.
And on today's adventure, we're going inside the Mountain Valley Winery. We're gonna bring you inside and show you their new Grape escape room that they just opened up, what that experience is like. We're gonna be doing a tour of this facility with their head winemaker. He'll be explaining the process of how they make wine here that supplies places like the Apple Barn and other wineries in the area. And we're gonna try out a couple small samples of wine at the end to see which one is our favorite. So without further ado, let the adventure begin. So we are here in Pigeon Forge, right next to the Titanic. You can see over to the left, you can see the Beyond the Lens building across the street, and we're right across from the local Goat is where we are going today here in Pigeon Forge, the Mountain Valley Winery, to check out their new Grape escape room. So let's watch them real quick cut the ribbon as they're officially opening up this new Grape escape room experience.
3, 2, 1.
We're gonna bring you on a behind the scenes tour of how wine is made here, so sit back, relax, and enjoy learning from William.
My name is William. I am the winemaker here at Mountain Valley Winery. I've been here almost 12 years now. We are currently in our barrel room. This room used to have a lot more barrels than what you currently see in it. The barrels that are behind you here are all full, so there's 2,160 gallons of wine that were put into those barrels in the last 3 weeks or so. If you look at the barrels, you'll notice American oak, Hungarian oak, and French oak. American oak is one of the less expensive barrels, and the French oak is more expensive. They range anywhere from around $600 all the way up to $1,500 a barrel. If you notice, you'll see dates on some of the barrels, 2015, 2014. Each barrel holds around 60 gallons. A lot of our dry reds and our dry whites go into the barrels, Chardonnay, Cabernet, Pinot Noir, things like that. The Chardonnay out front just came out of oak and was bottled recently. It's a really good batch of Chardonnay that's out front. If you notice the sign on the wall, it says Tennessee Farm Winery. So Mountain Valley Winery opened in 1991, and in order for them to sell alcohol here in Pigeon Forge, they had to be considered a farm winery, which means they bought all their grapes from local farmers here within the county. In 2012 and 2013, we processed 1.5 million pounds of Tennessee grapes. It was the largest harvest season I'd ever seen. This past harvest season wasn't all that great, and I don't see this harvest season being great. We had that late freeze. One day it was 56 degrees, and then it was 7. Grapes can't, they don't do well in that kind of weather, and that's really sad for the local farmers. I hope that it didn't hurt all of them and all of their crops. I hope that we get some, or get to see some, because we need a lot of wine to sustain just what we sell from this building or out of this facility. If you notice here, there are some tanks on this wall here. These all hold 759 gallons, and I used to have to get in those and clean them. I don't do that anymore. I let the young people do that now. Every single tank, I believe, is full, except for the one on the second one to the end is empty. All the rest of them have wine in them. Let's go into the new building here. So this is a $1.5 million expansion that we did 3 years ago. The biggest reason why you guys are here today is for the Grape escape room. In the Grape escape room used to be the bottling line for Mountain Valley Winery, and it was a cork machine. Every bottle had a cork in it. So this machine down here is our new $650,000 counter pressure filler. It can run 3,000 bottles an hour. If you guys want to come down this way, we'll talk about it. Something different about this machine than our old machine, this machine will label first the bottles. So the bottles are dropped and run through the machine. They get their labels. They get a date on every single bottle, and then the machine rinses them and fills them. And this machine will put 2 different kind of closures on the top. It'll get a screw top or a crown cap. And it also does what's called counter pressure filler. So this machine can do carbonated products, bubbly product. A lot of apple cider can be done on this machine as well. So all those machines, all those tanks there are under pressure and cold. So this machine can bottle under pressure and cold. Where our old machine that was in the Grape escape room would only do about 1,000 bottles an hour, where this can do 3 times the speed of that. So all the tanks that you see here are winemaking tanks. So these hold 4,000 gallons. Those tanks down there hold 6,000 gallons. This is what's called a tank mixer. So when we're going to add something to the tank, we turn this on and plug it up. It's got a big thing in there and it spins and it just mixes it all together. I have two pieces of machinery that's running down here right now. One is a filtration system and one is a cold stabilization system. You don't want any of those tartrates in the bottle. So in order to remove those tartrates, we used to have to freeze the tank. So if you look here and you look at the top, these are double line, and if you look through the white pipes there, we run glycol so we can control the temperature. So during fermentation, you'd only want around 65 degrees. Whenever alcohol is eating up, whenever the yeast is eating up the sugar and creating alcohol, it's going to create heat. So we ferment around 65 degrees, so we can control the temperature on every single tank, which is very important during winemaking and during fermentation. So we used to have to freeze these down to 32 degrees to remove those tartrates. We don't do that anymore. We use that machine down there and it does it for me. It was very expensive, but it has saved us in electricity, it has saved us in water consumption, and just the sheer fact of getting in, cleaning it out once you were done, because all those tartrates used to stick to the inside of the tanks. And that way, when you get a bottle of wine out front and you put it in your refrigerator and it gets too cold, you put it all the way in the back refrigerator, it gets too cold, it won't have any of those crystals in the bottom. This is Doug. He is the head winemaker. He's the one that taught me everything I know to this day. So those are all of our sister wineries. So we own Apple Barn Winery, Sugarland Cellars, which is in Gatlinburg, Millbridge Winery. So that's just for us to be able to show off the other properties. Plus, we'll take the same kind of wine and put some of it in Hungarian oak and some of it in French oak and then blend it to get that taste that we're looking for. So we'll use a variety of barrels. This is a hub for us here. So I make a lot of wine for all the other people. For example, I have a tank down there that has 6,000 gallons of wine in it that I'm currently working on now that I'm going to ship to Sugarlands next week. People think I just make Mountain Valley's wine. I don't. I help make Sugarlands, I help make Apple Barn, I help make Hillside. Last time I checked, we had over 120 labels. So 120 different kinds of wine or names of wine that we make within this company. So we have two processing facilities. We have a press out back here and we have two presses over at Hillside. So during harvest season, we're pressing at both locations. Can I show them rhubarb real quick? Is that cool? Y'all come this way. So when I first started working here, Doug was making rhubarb wine and I'm like, rhubarb? Rhubarb is a vegetable. And I believe when we first started making it, the federal government still had really weird rules about it. It was called an agricultural wine. And I think Doug made it for the wine club one year, and they absolutely loved it. And then we had to bring it back and make it all year long. So what you see over here in the boxes is rhubarb that's still frozen. We're going to finish dumping the rest of it tomorrow, and then next week it'll be pressed out. And this stuff is absolutely super tart with no sugar in it. But once it's fermented and it's back sweetened, we actually did a strawberry rhubarb one time. I still have a bottle at home that I have saved. Well, it was really good. Anybody that wants to try some, go right ahead. People absolutely love it. If you've ever had rhubarb pie before, obviously you would know rhubarb. So
very, very tart.
Yep. Anybody else?
Is this your most popular wine?
No, the #1 selling wine here at Mountain Valley Winery is called Mountain Valley Red, which is basically Concord grapes.
Okay.
So if anybody's ever had Welch's grape juice, it's the same thing, only with 12% alcohol in it. It's been the #1 seller since 1991, and it still is the #1 seller. Somewhere around 6,000 gallons a year of just that one wine.
Wow, wow, okay.
People absolutely love it. Welch's grape juice with a kick. It's Concord grapes, and they're grown right here locally in East Tennessee. It's one of the easier grapes to grow.
Is it difficult to grow grapes in general?
It is.
Okay.
It is. There's a lot of soil involved in it, soil samples, and making sure you have enough lime in the ground. Once you plant grapes, you're not going to get a crop for 4 years, and your first crop might not be your best crop. A lot of the tobacco farmers, though, flopped over in the last 20 years and started growing grapes.
Okay.
And once they get past that first 4 years, as long as they're doing everything they need to do and the weather cooperates every year, they can do really well. We don't turn anybody away. If you bring me 2 buckets or you bring me 40,000 pounds, we buy it. We don't turn people away. But there's an old saying, you can only make good stuff from the best stuff that comes in the door. So we try to do our best with everything that comes in.
Right. You want my rhubarb?
So these two machines down here are going to run all night long. One's cross flowing and cleaning, one's cold stabilizing. I don't know if y'all can smell it, but we have blueberry fermenting. I don't know if you can smell that. I can smell it. Just let's go back this way. I can because I'm so used to it. This tank right here has blueberry fermenting in it. You guys can head back down that way towards the Grape escape room. This is the least amount of wine that this building has ever had in it in my 12 years. Like they were saying earlier, this is where my bottling line used to be, in this room here. Doug did that for me a few years ago. My name is William, so it's Willy Wonka's Wine Factory.
Now that we went on a little tour of the winery to see how it's made, we're gonna go actually try some wine right over here on their free tasting. Now that we've done the tour, we're gonna try out a couple of wines. You can try 4 wines for free. So let's try a couple of these out, Brie. First one we're gonna try is the rhubarb. How's the rhubarb?
The rhubarb wine is much sweeter than the rhubarb. Good, I like it.
So we're gonna try the Mountain Valley Red. This is their best seller.
Welch's grape juice with a little bit of alcohol. It even looks like Welch's grape juice. 100% Welch's grape juice. I like it. It's good. I want to try the watermelon.
Okay.
And the peach. You have the peach freeze? Yeah. So I'm going to try the watermelon. Tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. That tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher for real. Oh, I like that. This one's my favorite so far. Okay, this is the red velvet. You are going to get vanilla and cream cheese when you drink it, and chocolate when you exhale. It's made with real vanilla, chocolate, and a blend of 4 different grapes. This is the peach wine freezer. I don't think I've ever had a wine freezer, and I love peach, so this is exciting. That's fun and refreshing. I like it.
We tried both the peach and the red sangria of our 4 selections. The peach was good. The red sangria was our favorite.
So we're here today at Mountain Valley Winery with Jen.
I'm the assistant manager at Mountain Valley Winery since 2009.
We're here today celebrating the opening of the Grape Escape Room. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about what that is and what the new opportunities are for people who want to come here?
So anyone that wants to come in and do the Grape Escape Room, it's $25 a person on the weekends, and you get a souvenir wine glass, 8 samples, a walkthrough behind the scenes, and you get to sit and enjoy your 8 samples and take your time.
Okay, and they can have a little bit of snacks with their wine as well, right?
What comes with it, yeah, you get a little cheese tray and some pretzels and some jelly that's also made in-house by the owner's daughter, Katie. With your 8 samples, if you don't just want a cheese tray, you can upgrade to the meat and jelly tasting, which is an add-on for $5, and you get extra hors d'oeuvres and snacks.
If somebody was interested in doing that, how would they go ahead and sign up for that?
You can get on mountainvalleywinery.com and then go from there.
We did want to show you that they do have a little retail shop here, so you're always welcome to come in here if you're in Pigeon Forge. Come back here to the right, show your ID, and you're able to sample 4 wines for free. That's going to wrap up our tour of the Mountain Valley Winery. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you've ever been here, what's your favorite wine? Or which wine would you like to sample the most? Hope this video helps. Feel free to ask any questions. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next adventure. Did I hit record? I hope I hit record. Yeah, I hit record.
Okay.
Okay, I hit record.
Date night.